Galera, Balloon Boy conquistou o reset, mas vamos torcer aqui pro Lores, nosso representante brasileiro, pra tudo dar certo, pra ele conseguir ganhar essa melhor de 5. Lembrando que se você é criador de conteúdo de Brawlhalla, eu crio uma org pra juntar os criadores de conteúdo e todo mundo crescer junto. Beleza? Então se você é criador de conteúdo de Brawlhalla ou conhece alguém, tem algum amigo que é, fala pra ele se inscrever lá no nosso servidor do Discord, beleza? Também tá aqui tudo no comentário fixado, ok? E se você quiser receber aula, é só se tornar aluno. É nóis, bora lá.
Dodge and Loras just watches it fly by.
Double dare, almost going for the next
Oh,
one,
no!
almost hitting the next one. Dude, that's gonna take away the stock. Balloon Boy's gotta be feeling good, and yet still in the bottom corner right of the screen, he's still stone-faced as ever. Goes for the GCD light into the recovery on a very fresh opponent.
Man, Loras playing risky. He spot dodges in the open air right in front of Balloon Boy, and Balloon Boy had the punish. Now, once again, Loras playing from behind. Throws out the side sig. Again, easy punish for Balloon Boy.
Dude, Balloon Boy's able to just get around them so often in the side air. Now 2 stocks up. All of those punishes are so much damage because it's a D-light into a side air each time. It's not just a down air. It's not just a side light. It's not just a side air, anything like that. It's multiple moves that Balloon Boy is finding. That's a burn dodge, and Loras is back on the main stage instantly over to the right side. Now they're jockeying for position around the middle.
Loras not able to hit the pogo, not able to hit the neutral signature. He wants to deny the 3 stock here. Neutral line goes for the end sig, but Loras able to react in time. Spot dodges, gets through, hits the side air.
We've only seen just a few of those. I think the last 2 that we saw did make a connection and did hit. So he went for the big play there, the maximum damage play that he could in terms of like mental damage and game state damage as well. Not chasing with that.
Stuck on the wall here. Another tornado. Loras, he's running out of jumps here. He did get onto the stage, but still taking damage.
Another tornado? No, he's backing up actually. Loras feels safe enough to move up just a little bit. Sidelight into the side air, just barely sends off screen. The jump into the side air, the double dares, the weapon toss down from Loras. Oh, what a weak punish there. Is Balloon Boy just completely in his head?
He's falling apart, missing easy punishes. That's a Blaster's recovery coming over the corner.
He doesn't even have hardly a second to breathe before we're getting back into this one. Again, no changes coming up, no skin changes, no stage changes, no legend changes. But hopefully, if you're a Loras fan out there, you're hoping for a results change as we get into this and Balloon Boy's able to grab the boots.
We got him with that gravity cancel sidelight into the side air. Loras finding more extensions on his spears in here in game number 2. On the corner.
Man, these neutral airs, like Loras is able to always use that move so well, and I feel like we've seen so few of them do really anything against Balloon Boy. He does find the side air.
Juggles weapons. This is his comfort weapon. He wants that spear. Oh, nice falling side air into the neutral air. Catches him with the side light. Hits the pogo. Doesn't get the second one, but Loras, he does get that wall touch.
What's Balloon Boy looking for? There's the side light into the side air. He just barely picks it up high enough. He's gonna side air follow up, pivoting that down air, and the weapon toss right at that perfect angle. Balloon Boy's ready for that one.
Yeah, that pillar underneath the map really locking the options for Loras. Has another spear, down light side air.
Wow, Loras was playing really close to the corner there. Then he got punished right after. There was the D-Light in the side air, sending him over onto the edge. D-Light just barely whiffing as Loras was aerial and behind Balloon Boy.
Dashes into the neutral light. Balloon Boy hitting that down air. Loras side light into nothing.
Dude, where's the insig?
Pogo?
He hasn't thrown out the insig in so long. Oh, the bounce off the wall. You really wanted to throw it down at that angle. Balloon Boy doesn't get the turnaround. The dodge up from Loras, just barely getting the touch when he needs it.
He gets the recovery, he gets the hit. Loras with the lead here, something he hasn't had so far.
That's tough for Balloon Boy. A full stock behind now. A victory here from Loras would start the tug of war back potentially in his favor. Balloon Boy giving him plenty of room on the left 50% of the stage. Now Loras goes over there. There's the entrance from Balloon Boy. Chasing high, hoping he can get the GCD light, but he just barely misses. Sweat beating with the recovery, but getting back.
Okay, weapon toss, swapping things up. There's the flame sword coming out from Balloon Boy. Been a minute since he threw it out. Recovery, needs another one. You see him jumping high. Side sig, charged up, weapon toss to connect. What's the edge guard? Goes for the ground pound.
Been a long time since we've seen one of those side sigs. Loras is gonna end up falling after that zoning down air from Balloon Boy. We're all on final stocks here.
This is a critical stock here for Lores. This is a difference between a tied set or Balloon Boy being 1 game away from being crowned our mid-season champion. A Pogo from Lores not going to do enough. A side air not going to do enough.
I think this could be the set right here. I think this stock is so important in this set. This determines seemingly all momentum going forward. He goes for the D-Light into the side sig. Balloon Boy being very confident. He knows he's far behind and looking for the big play. Okay, this is the moment of respite for Lores. You can see it, putting his head in his hands for just a moment, hoping he can decompress all of the pressure.
Another one, but Lores halting everything.
First weapon's going to go over to Lores. Here's the orb coming in for him. He only did 67 damage on the orb last game compared to 480 on the spear. Now he's back over onto that spear. Neutral Sig's coming out early on in this game.
First hit goes the way of Balloon Boy. Second hit goes the way of Balloon Boy. Another hit coming the way of Balloon Boy. He's got Lores in the open air, hits him with a recovery. Good damage, leaning towards Balloon Boy.
There's the down air to shut things down, but another 2-piece coming out from Balloon Boy. Going back and forward. Okay, we're seeing the tornado, not as effective as it was previously.
Good spacing there from Balloon Boy. He's going to hit the side sig and disarm Lores. The recovery was critical there. You even heard the down air coming out from Balloon Boy.
D-Light into the recovery, going to be the more KO potential option given where he picked it up. You see the KO off the top. That's a nice start for Balloon Boy here if he wants to fight back in this after Lores interrupted at least a little bit of the momentum that he had going into this Grand Finals reset.
A healthy lead here for Balloon Boy, almost a full stock advantage. Lores already taking damage on the second one. All he got on this respawn was a downlight side air. Side sig connects.
The neutral airs from Lores are just completely ineffective now. I swear I haven't seen him hit one in so long.
Downlight side air again from Lores. The anti-air is starting to work out. Great weapon toss. Swaps weapons. Doesn't hit the down air. Instead, Balloon Boy going to pressure him.
You did see the 1 ground pound, hoping for the KO starter there, but after that, Lores was just jumping and floating around in case he got the option that he was looking for. The down air just barely missing, but out came the in-light, that disarmed Balloon Boy. Here comes the weapon spawn coming in. There's the side light. Again, back to that side light turnaround, pivoting that recovery, and there's the D-Sig, summoning that spear tip from the bottom of the ground.
Great reaction from Lores. Does get the KO. Once again, still behind. Has to respect Balloon Boy. Balloon Boy comes in with the boots, hits him with the Flame Sword.
Flame Sword going to turn him orange. Balloon Boy above Lores, able to touch the ground and land. There's the D-Light into the side air. Back over to the soft platform to reset everything before he re-aggresses. Oh my gosh!
But he goes to the left. The neutral signature not going to send upwards. That means Balloon Boy still keeps the stock.
Dude, he was able to add up so much damage off of that, but you know he wanted the KO so bad, but he added enough damage because of that so we can find the GC D-Light into the recovery for the KO and back to Lores having a lead.
But is it enough? Right now, he's in the red. He's got the weapon control. Balloon Boy with the side air sends him flying. Where's the weapon? Left side. Balloon Boy's going to get it.
Ooh, Lores running away for this one until he can get to the weapon spawn, picking up the orb. A lot of room between the two.
Missing those down airs right over the head of Balloon Boy.
Man, that down air, dude, you're seeing him focus on the down air so much because that's not an angle that blasters can easily contest. You really just have to hope for a good side jump side air, which is what Balloon Boy's looking for right now, but it's going to be so difficult to find that. Both of them really can't find hits. It's like just a weapon toss.
Yeah, Lores, I mean, he's playing that down air game. It's a great projectile. It's got great range, and like you said, it's a space that Balloon Boy couldn't really challenge with his blasters, but he gets underneath. It's the downlight side air. Final stocks here.
Back over to the blasters, camping the soft platform, moving back down, and they're going to swap places. And neutral air from Lores gives him plenty of room to grab the spear. This is so scary for Balloon Boy. If Lores goes up 2-1 in this, all of a sudden the momentum completely changes. D-Light into the side light, the low damage option, the double neutral air. I was potentially expecting the recovery after that, but Balloon Boy playing very reserved. He knows he can't take too much, especially not if it's high.
Yo, but he's adding it up. The side air is adding it up. Lores in trouble here. Swaps weapons, jumps over the down light, stays in the air, goes for the side air. Balloon Boy gonna eat a side air from Lores. Watch the edge guard. No, Lores not able to hit the down air. Misses.
Oh, the GC side light from Lores was just high enough to get in the dead zone of the way. There's the D-Light into the side air. Not enough to KO. The Dusk defense holding on. And Lores
Mais uma.
has shifted. He can't rest on his laurels, but the momentum has.
With how often they have been going home with them. Potential final game here, game number 4. Balloon Boy wants to take this to game number 5. He's got to get the blasters to start things off, but it's going to be the boots.
He gets one hit, backs up to the main stage. Lorez goes down again. We're seeing the tornado not make contact. Lorez has figured out how to get away from that. Reading low, Lorez stays just a little bit high, really at the neutral angle that he was at previously, so he doesn't get caught by Balloon Boy. There's the side air. Flame Sword.
It's going to hit. It goes wide enough onto the ground. Neutral signature. Balloon Boy just high enough to avoid it. Neutral light on the side of Lorez. Side air from Balloon Boy to get back onto the stage.
Chasing after Lorez with it. Swapping back over to the blasters. There's the down air, but it doesn't send over on the wall. It bounces off the main stage. Lorez is aerial and too far away. He's not going to get caught by the D-Light. Neutral air coming up from Balloon Boy. He's not able to hit several of them, though. Just the one. There's the side light into the side air. Going really high off that one. Getting the KO pretty early.
Balloon Boy, he's feeling pretty good. He's living pretty healthy. He's got his blasters, side light, side air, hits that down air read. Lorez chasing high, but Balloon Boy not going to give him the dodge that he wants. He wants that recovery to follow up. Down air's going to whiff.
I'm pretty sure Balloon Boy wanted the down air after that and not like the ledge cancel D-Light. So unfortunately, he ended up ledge canceling that D-Light based on where he was. Going under the stage, using all of the lateral movement that Blaster's recovery has. Getting away from that GC D-Light as well and turning around with the ground pound right after.
Side light, side air. Laura's going to even things up here. Took some damage. Takes a moment there. You don't see him move anywhere near the weapon spawn.
He's about 60 damage behind. It's not too much whatsoever.
Nice.
We're seeing a neutral air hit. And the neutral signature follow-up right after it. Trying to knock away Balloon Boy with that weapon toss, but he gets through. Another weapon toss comes out, disarming him. The unarmed kit getting 2 hits. Now swapping back over to the orb.
He's jumping. Balloon Boy giving him some breathing room, catches him with that side light. Another down light into the side air.
He didn't quite have the spacing on the side air, and Balloon Boy was ready to turn around and get the GC D-Light. There's the D-Light into recovery. That one will do it off the top. Has his choice of weapons. What's it gonna be? It's gonna be the blasters. Even dipping down below that soft platform before re-picking up his weapon.
Balloon Boy, 1 stock away from a game 5. Giving him the potential to be our CEO champion. The neutral light doesn't get the pivot neutral air.
Turning around that neutral light, that had to be a misinput. Strange option to go for there, but the dare's coming out. You see him go wide and right. He's worried about those angled weapon tosses coming out from Lorez. He's been throwing those out so often, and Balloon Boy's adapting to it. Side light, side air. Everybody on final stock here, but again, Lorez is still 50 damage behind at this point. He hasn't been able to overcome that damage deficit.
Final stocks, like you said. Balloon Boy, unarmed, gets that stage control, throws out the N-Sig, but Lorez dodges through it.
You can see Balloon Boy instantly getting away as far as he can from Lorez after that sideline hit, so that jump neutral air is not going to make a connection. The down air, the dodge comes through from Balloon Boy. Another down air is dodged through by Balloon Boy. There's the Flame Sword, hoping he can push this to a game 5, the D-Light, but Lorez is nowhere near to get the punish. There's the down air coming. No, he goes back to the main platform. The corner guard is just a sidelight.
Lorez in the red. Balloon Boy, if he gets that down light, that's gonna be a KO. Lorez disarms himself, but he plays behind.
The GCD light, Lorez is unable to punish it. He's not ready in time to get it. He throws a low option while Balloon Boy's still in the air.
Side air, gives him the stage. Dodges down, but he doesn't throw out any counter.
I thought we were gonna see the Blasters recovery right there.
Side air, that's gonna do it! We're going to game 5!
So many people out there are stoked right now to see Balloon Boy pushing that to a game 5.
Plays insane clutches. He manages to hold on, but we're going to our final game here for CEO 2025. Whoever wins this is going to be our 1v1 mid-season champion.
The loudest 3-2-1 brawl of the entire weekend, and it's here in the final game of Grand Finals after the reset in game 5.
What more could you ask for? Balloon Boy starting things off with his boots. Gets a great pickup. There's the tornado, but it doesn't get the full damage send.
Yeah, nothing huge. It doesn't send any strange direction that Lorez can't recover from or anything like that, but it still does get at least a little bit of damage, does get the hit, and that's finally a tornado that he found a connection with that he hasn't previously. He's keeping the damage up. He's ahead of Lorez by over 100 damage at this point before he backs up, comes in with the neutral light, barely whiffing that one. There's the neutral air from Lorez. Can he find anything? No, they swap places. Lorez goes high, Balloon Boy low.
Back onto the stage. Dash dancing. Balloon Boy going to connect with the side light, side air again. Side light, there's that read. Down light off the soft platform. He's getting some damage back onto Balloon Boy. Goes for the down air, but Balloon Boy's wide. Side sig will hit and will KO Lores with the lead.
I love how Lores waited over on the right side. I think he threw out like one down air and then waited after that rather than just like blindly going in with another down air, potentially putting himself in recovery frames, might take a ground pound or something else other than that from Balloon Boy right after. But no, Lores was really careful. That's the Lores we're talking about, baby! Give me all those down airs and the signature follow-up and the
Mano.
for Big Lores.
Things looking dire for the North American. Final stock here, his tournament stock. Lores on 3. He's got every advantage he can have. There's the blasters. Can he take the stock?
It's from the wrong side of the stage. Not going to be enough yet. That does get the dodge, but it disarms Balloon Boy, so he doesn't go for the edge guard.
Can't afford
Dude,
these.
look at the
Can't
chase
afford
dodge
these.
after him, too. And the complete disengage from Lores.
Trying to get that falling side air. Down light side air. Okay, that's 1.
It's just one more stock for Lores, and Balloon Boy's got to take 2. He does have weapon advantage, but Spawn comes in. Here comes the spear for Lores. Who's going to get the first hit? It's that in-light from Balloon Boy's blasters. Lores jumps and goes to the soft platform before Balloon Boy picks up 2 and 3.
The wall of Balloon Boy, though, you can see him sitting further back, trying to use the long range that he's got. Gets opened up, ground pound, and Lores gets in there. That's a big 3-piece.
Was almost going to be a
Side air.
mistake from Lores by punishing the bounce off the ground pound with a sidelight. You're seeing the neutral signatures. It's just adding to the mental stack. It's adding to the fear factor against Balloon Boy here.
Sideline
Easy
side air.
punish for Lores.
Brasil levou de novo, caramba. Cara, ele ganhou na 2v2 também, tá, gente? Não sei se você sabe. Ele e o Kaine ganharam na 2v2. Caramba. Se inscreve no canal, mano, pra estar acompanhando mais. Caraca, jogou muito. Eu achei que era impossível parar o Balloon Boy, velho. Jogou muito. Parou o Balloon Boy e venceu. É isso. Até a próxima, pessoal. Tchau, tchau.